Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. We've produced a video recording of a conversation we had with some pastors around the topic of Canada Help's online giving platform. We don't mean to suggest that Canada Helps is the only platform you can use, or we don't suggest that it's the best one, but it is really simple to use. And Rebecca Harnham led some pastors in a discussion and a demonstration around Canada Helps. You can feel free to share this with your bookkeepers and treasurers, and this may be a way to help you encourage online giving in an easy and simple way within your assembly. Have a great day. Enjoy the video. Bless you.
So I've pulled up the Canada Helps website. So that's just canadahelps.org. And one of the reasons that we've been talking so much about Canada Helps, why we're going to focus on it today, is because it's what we're most familiar with here at the district office. This is how we receive online donations here at the office. So when I'm running fundraisers for my missions, it all funnels through Canada Helps. People are able to tithe to the district through Canada Helps. They're able to give. When we do our online church planting campaigns, those funds all come through Canada Helps. So we're quite familiar with it here at the office. I'm familiar with it as a donor, and then of course Sylvia and Dorothy, who work downstairs, are very familiar with it from the administrative and bookkeeping side of things. So that's why we're quite comfortable to talk about it and encourage you to use it. The other reason is because it's very convenient. And whether or not your church has ever used Canada Helps, your church is already registered with Canada Helps online platform. So I knew that Pastor Brody was going to be here today, like I found out 5 minutes ago. So Boom Road Pentecostal Church, Pastor Brody says, we don't have our Canada Helps page. But the truth is, it's right here. And every organization and church within Canada is already registered with Canada Helps. So if I wanted to right now, I could say, I'm going to donate, click donate now.
Do it. Brody.
He wants you to.
Just put your credit card right in there, Rebecca.
Enter it in. I'm going to click
Hand is welcome.
I'm going to click as a donor. I'm going to click continue. Now I had already tested this with Sydney Pentecostal Church. They don't have theirs set up yet either. But Boom Road Pentecostal Church, I could give my one-time donation, complete all of my information here, use my credit card or PayPal, hit complete, and my donation of $10 to Boom Road Pentecostal Church is made. And Brody and Laura have done nothing to set it up, because it's all that. This much is already done. So if you Google your church name or search it on this website, you should be able to find it. And what's interesting is your registered name and your business number are already there. Your impact is your supporting information based on the Canadian Revenue Agency, what they provide to Canada Helps on a quarterly basis. So it's already set up. You wouldn't have to do anything else other than that. But this is not what we want, but we do want you to take it a step further, of course. So that's how it works for the donor's perspective. That's how easy it is for somebody to come online and give to your church. What we're going to kind of walk you through a little bit today is actually setting this up so that you know how you're receiving your funds. Currently, the district office, because we've registered our account, when donors come online and give this way, we receive our funds weekly, automatically deposited in our checking account or saving, whatever, into our bank accounts. We don't have to receive a check. Those funds automatically come in because we've taken the extra step to provide Canada Helps with some more detail around our banking. And that's what you would want to do if you want to receive those funds electronically. Canada Helps, another convenient piece is that Canada Helps issues the tax refund and the tax receipt. So when I give to my church, when I give to Cornerstone, I go online, I put my information in, and immediately I receive my income tax receipt that I file away. And donors do the same thing. And so a church does not have to process the giving or record it for their tax purposes. At the end of the month or the end of the week, whenever you receive your donations, you would just consolidate that against your bookkeeping. Every time you receive a donation, you get an email. And then at the end of a week or the end of the month, you get your collective email telling you the details of the deposit that's about to be made into your account or the check that you're about to receive. They'll give you all of those details so you can record it and know who gave it. You just don't have to record it for income tax purposes. So those are kind of some of the basic conveniences right now that we're seeing for Canada Helps. And it's really been helping churches get online quickly because the brunt work is already done. And so that's what you're kind of seeing there. Any questions so far? I know I'm talking really fast and giving a lot of detail.
If a church doesn't sort of register with them and people just go in, the Canada Helps takes a percentage off of it, right?
There is a percentage, yes. There is technically, really, it's the administrative fee. It's about, I believe it's 3.5 to, I believe it's anywhere from 3 to 3.5%. If you get yourself set up, it's 3.5%. So when somebody goes online to give to the district office, if they were to give $100, they get a tax receipt for the $100 donation. We receive $96.50. So we lose $3.50 off of every 100.
Because we're set up with them. But if we're not set up with them and they send us a check, there's an additional percent they take for that service, right?
4 to 4.5%. It's not a huge amount. So you want to get set. So this looks like Boom Road is set up. This is the base level page that every organization gets. I'm going to show you, Pastor Zach. Is it okay if I pull up your account?
Go for it.
Okay. So this is what it could look like. I believe Cornerstone Assembly. It's in Bible. So here it is. So you can see that this church has gone in and they have branded the logo. So it's there. So immediately I know that this is the right one. And then they've added their website. So you can actually brand your page once you've you've contacted Canada Helps and claimed your profile. So you can actually modify this quite a bit. So you can do that. I'm going to go back here to Boom Road. So what do you need to do now? So Pastor Brody, if you wanted to set up your page, you would now go here because you or Laura Hare's on the call. She's the treasurer in Boom Road. So glad you're here, Laura. So you would click here to learn more. I'm not going to do this, but this is what you would do. You would claim your charity profile. And you would fill all of this information in. You can find this on that initial page. Complete all of this information. You can receive communications in French. And Canada Helps actually has a really great system by which you can input any of your data. They usually ask you for the French translation as well. So it works very well if you want to go, if your congregation is English and French speaking or one or the other, then that will work well for you. Complete your administrator's name. Generally, this wouldn't be the pastor. This would be the treasurer. For example, at the district office, our administrator for our Canada Helps is Dorothy Burns because she's the one who handles the deposits and consolidates all of that. Complete your password. Choose your role. And down here is a category. This doesn't impact the donation at all. You just select which one best fits your church. We have our own subcategory. And then go through this, and then you would complete your registration. And once you complete that registration, then you would receive information about how to send them your check to set up automatic deposits into your account if you wanted. But once they have an email address from you, then you'll begin to get those email notifications that somebody has donated. And so that's how you kind of claim that profile. And once you've done that, then you're able to go back to your page and upload your own logo, add your website, You can include information about what your church is about, just so that people who search for you can kind of get that background before they donate.
How does the church put this link on their Facebook or do they just sort of copy the link from this address bar and to their church?
They can
Okay.
do that. So I'm trying to get up to that top of the screen. So you just right click it, copy it. You can also share it to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, although I don't know why I would. And you can also click to email it to people, or you can email it to yourself so you have it. And all anyone needs in order to donate to your church through Canada Helps is the link, a credit card or a PayPal account, and an email address.
What about designating your giving to building fund or COVID response, and so like giving it to different categories? And can churches set up their own categories?
Yeah, I need to move this. Okay. Yes, they can. Give me 1 second here and I'll show you. You can see here how we've included this information. That's because we're registered with them. But down here, because we've registered, we're able to specify funds. So we have a general fund, and this is public. So anybody can find this. There's general, church tithes, my missions, and church planting. And there used to be one for LSM, with the Launch School of Ministry. So if somebody was coming to donate, they could select to give to my missions, and I'd be like, yes, go for it. Or you can give to general or church tithe. But your church could also do the same. So you could set up a fund. Now, this isn't a designated fund. I don't believe it's connected directly back to your books as far as it doesn't become a designated fund that way, but it does tell you where this person intended for their funds to go. And then when you receive those funds, you just have to put them in those spots. The money that they give will still go to your general. But you could select, yes, COVID-19 response. You could put in here, if you want, you could put in a global worker. You could put in your kids ministry. You could add or you could leave it just general and church tithe. Or you could just say our general is called, I think you could change even general to say church tithe, I believe. It's been a long time since I've done that. But yes, you can set up funds for a donor to select where the money goes. General is selected as a default. So if they don't change this, it's going to go to general. They'll still get their donation for whatever amount they've chosen to give.
So the place where those changes can be made, is that all easily found when you are registering yourself, when you're going on to set it up?
It is easy to find. I just can't get there because I'm not setting up a church. What I'm offering today is if you want to get this set up, and if you want to get if you start that process and you come up against something you don't understand it, or you need help walking through it, I'm happy to help people get their Canada Help set up. But I just can't. I should have thought it through and kind of found a church that wanted to go for it for sure and done it live and done that live. But if you go through those steps of setting it up, you'll get communication from Canada Helps about how to edit and personalize your page. And that's pretty easy. And it's easy to update and easy to maintain. When I need to change any of this, then I usually get Dorothy's logins, and I'll log in and update the information pretty quickly. And I would probably suggest that you for convenience, especially with the inundation of information that people are feeling right now, to stick with one link and one way to give, and it all comes through that main page. And you can email that out to congregants, and all they need is the link, their email address, and a credit card or a PayPal account. And depending on their PayPal account may be connected to their checking, or could be connected to a credit card, but that's all they need. And they will receive the income tax receipt immediately. You will not have to track that. You can track it for their giving, but you won't have to track it for their income tax. So when I receive my information at the end of the year, what I've given to my church is not reflected in the income tax receipt that I receive from my church, because I've given through Canada Helps, and that's where my income tax receipts are. But the church still knows I've given.
So I think it's important also that for receipting, as soon as a person makes the $10 donation, they're going to get a receipt to a printable PDF to their mailbox.
Yes.
And if they lose those, they can still, like I do at the end of the year, go into Canada Helps, and every donation and receipt is still in there, and I can reprint from there all my 15 or 16 receipts and use those. So even if they discard the one they got in their email, it's still banked at Canada Helps.
Correct. What I would, if I was a pastor, if I was giving this information to a church, what I would encourage all of my people to do would be to set up, for their own security, to set up their own individual Canada Helps account, so they can log in and see the donations they've given. They can favorite the church so they don't have to search for it every time. And it means it'll be very easy for them to reprint and find their receipts if they need to later on.
There's also the capability, a person doesn't have to go in and make a donation every time they want to give. They can set up automated recurring giving through Canada Helps. So they can just go in and set it and forget it once, and it's done. I didn't see that option, Rebecca, in that list, but I know it's there somewhere because I've done it.
I'm not logged into to an account. I'm just kind of, here's a general.
Right. You're not. Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I wanted to show you this page because I know that it can be really intimidating especially when we start talking about moving finances online, if we haven't done that before. So Canada Helps really does have a fantastic support system and support network as far as questions. And this is the frequently asked questions specific for charities. And there's one here, so if you have a question, you can type it in here. You can type it up here. So if I wanted to know about electronic fund transfers, it says Canada Helps disbursement schedule, for example. So we disperse funds once every week to charities set up for electronic fund transfers. Donations made from Sunday to Saturday are dispersed the following Thursday. For charities that do not have the EFT, we issue a paper check and we write those checks once a month. So once you get set up, you'll be able to send them a blank check, and once or supply your banking information. And once you do, it may take a few days, may take a week, but they'll actually set you up so that those funds are deposited into your account, and you receive an email before that, and that email gives you the details. So if your deposit from Canada Helps is $1,000, it will tell you that Jim gave X amount, Rebecca gave X amount, Kevin gave X amount, for a total of this. So when you take that to your bookkeeper receives it, they can easily say, okay, we've received this money, this is where it came from, and use and track that toward the person's giving, and know, and also be able to see where it was designated, if it was designated for general or COVID-19 response or whatever.
When somebody makes a donation, does Sylvia or you get a notification at every donation?
Yes. So I have it set up on our account that I get a notification every time a donation is made, and it tells me if it was a one-time donation, the amount of the donation, or if it was a monthly recurring donation. So I can see those, and then I can go into my Canada Helps page and I can see who specifically gave what, see their names and the amounts, and print off all their giving information from there. Of course, the confidential information of their credit card is all confidential.
Yeah.
And you also can people can give anonymously as well. It's an option.
And yeah, they can give anonymously. But I wouldn't worry about that too much, because if somebody chooses to give anonymously, all that it means is you're still going to get the funds. You just don't know who gave it, and they're still getting their tax receipt.
Sorry, Tim has a question there too, but before he asks his question, just a quick reminder: if you're receiving e-transfers, that can be a little bit of a dangerous process, because what has to happen with an e-transfer is, unless you register for auto deposit, the money comes to a person's email address, and that person manually has to make a decision where the funds go. So, for example, if the e-transfer was to come to Luke Poirier at bearsfordchurch.com, Luke would get that, and he could decide to put it in his account or the church's account if he hasn't registered for auto deposit. So this, with Canada Helps, of course, there's no manual moving of the money.
Does it get complicated for the treasurer when you have some of the deposits that are they need a receipt and others don't? How do they, like some people will have their giving will come in maybe through two sources.
Mhm.
How does that work?
Treasurer bookkeeper would not need to include the amount that has been given through Canada Helps in their in the records for income tax receipting. So they record it as income to the church, but not for the purposes of income tax receipting. So it shouldn't get too complicated, because that money would just, I guess, get marked as just as far as the church is concerned, it's general. It just goes into the general fund and just given by somebody who didn't provide it's the same as if somebody comes to your church and puts it in an envelope and doesn't include their giving information. You can't credit it to anyone. It's sort of like that, except in this case, you know where it came from, but you're still not going to give the income tax receipt.
Thank you. Good, thanks. This is great. We want these opportunities to be knowledge sharing, and as we help each other with all that's going on. Hey, blessings to you all. Have a great, great day. Praying for you as you get ready for this weekend.